That's awesome.
Cheers. Zdravo. Dobro
Cheers.
jutro.
And Dobro Jutro. Yeah, over here it's what time is it? 8 p.m. right now. Let me just go ahead, Miljenko, with the intro and we'll get started here. I won't waste any time.
Sure.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. In this episode, we have special guest Miljenko Matijević. Miljenko is a Croatian-born singer who moved to the U.S. as a kid and became the lead singer of legendary rock band Steelheart. Among other projects, he also sang the vocals for Mark Wahlberg in the movie Rockstar. And in this episode, we're going to learn more about him and his career. Miljenko, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. Finally, I get to connect with my country
Yeah,
a
I'm really
little bit.
excited to learn about your heritage. I mean, maybe 10 years ago, I was scrolling on YouTube. I was going through like a glam metal type of phase, and I came across a Steelheart video. I said, "Oh, it sounds like a cool band name, Steelheart." Clicked on it. It was Never Let You Go, and yeah, I was first thought was like, "Wow, this vocal range is crazy." And never in a million years would I think 10 years later, first of all, I'd be living in Croatia. I was in Los Angeles at the time, and not
Okay.
only that, but I'd be interviewing you on the podcast. So I'm really
Well,
excited to have you on.
life is interesting. You got to keep it alive. So happy that we connected.
Definitely, yeah. And
So
I said rock band just for the sake of ease in the intro. How would you classify, your sound? Are you more glam metal or hair metal? Or
Steelheart, no, it's not glam. It's not hair. It's rock and roll. I mean, it's more like I think it falls more into like more of this Aerosmithy maybe or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not glam. It's not glam. Or it's funny that we were put in that category. You
Hmm.
know. So as far as hair, I cut my hair, so I'm
Yeah,
sure.
definitely not hair
you know.
metal now, that's for sure.
Yeah. I started growing it, and I had it down to the shoulders again, and it's like I look like shit. I was like, you know what? Let me stay rough and tough and just what's the word? Just uh clean. So, my face is open.
Changing of the times. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Milenko, you were born in Zagreb. Is that something that a lot of people know about you in the States?
Yeah, everybody knows. Basically the world knows that I was born in Zagreb. Um, it's interesting. I think the only country that really doesn't know me is my own country. It's pretty, interesting about it, and I'm excited to really connect with my country. I really am. So I want to come and perform there, and it'd be great for all of us to sing the songs together. So I'm ready.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, yeah. I was looking through the Croatian news portals trying to find some information about you, and I wasn't really seeing anything in the Croatian news. I had to go to the English.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about your, heritage and growing up in Zagreb? When did you leave and why and things like that?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Zagreb, and I was living in with my grandmother right outside the city, not far from the center, and my parents left to the United States when I was really really young. They came back for me when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and then they took me away and brought me to the United States, to New York, and that's where I started, singing and growing, my career. Um, Funny enough, I started singing at, geez, that's 3 years old in my grandmother's kitchen. I would sing to all the Croatian songs, on the radio. I'd stand up on a chair and I'd sing, you know. And at 5, when I came to the United States, we started singing like songs like from Johnny Cash, John Denver, all the country stuff, because my father really liked the country stuff, and I didn't know anything about rock or anything like that. As I got older, around 11 years old, I was how would I say this? I was introduced to Led Zeppelin, and when I heard Robert Plant, singing "Hey Moms," and it was just okay. That's it. I'm done, and that's where I started going into the rock music. Into Zeppelin and Van Halen, Bad Company, Black Sabbath. And that's what inspired me, and I kept going and going, and I was Jesus, my career, I was writing songs since I was literally 11 years old. And I got into a band called The Mission at the age of 15, which was really good because they were already signed. They were a lot older than I was. And it really was a great band to join for a while and to learn. And then, and then I met up with the other guys from Steelheart at, I think, maybe 17, you know. And that was it. We just connected and we rehearsed like animals for seemed like forever. And finally, at the age of 27, I connected with my manager, and it happened overnight. So, all those years from starting, I guess, from singing in top of the chair at 3 years old to 27 years old is when my that long gap. So, and then as soon as I got signed, it was like you make it overnight. So
Mm.
overnight success, 30 years, more than 30 years of going. So
Wow, yeah. Well, going back to when you first arrived in New York and then, starting to live life as, say an American, did you sort of have an identity crisis? Your name is Miljenko. That's an unusual name in the US, of course. I don't know if you have an accent at that point or are you still learning English, things like that. You have another cultural background and then going to the US, did you feel like you had to adjust or was it easy for you?
that was brutal. It was terrible. You're kidding me? We came, here I am, uh, this little Croatian kid coming to the most biggest country in the world. And we, growing up, it was always, we would be imitating the cowboy movies, like, hey, right, right, yeah, right. That's what we would, you know, have fun talking about it. So America was like, wow, you know, especially back in those days. And when I came here, it was very, very intimidating. I didn't speak any English, and they put me in school, and it was just, it was a completely different culture, you know. Um, I mean, the kids would come to school with nice little lunch boxes and the nice little sandwiches all cut, with a little apple. And I'd get this big, huge, you know, what do you call it? Grocery bag rolled up with sandwiches like this big. It's like, I just slap, yeah, they get out of here, kind of thing. And so all of that stuff is just, because you want to fit in. You want to fit in as a kid and you can't. It's very, it was challenging, but I fell into it fairly quickly. So
Well, yeah, it's definitely, I mean, they say as a kid, at least it's easier to adjust and everything than being an adult, at least language wise and stuff and learning languages like that. Do you still speak Croatian or how much do you
ko
remember?
može, možemo na naći ako hoćeš.
You speak better than me. I'm still learning.
Razumijem puno, ali trebam prakticirati više. Nemam s nikim razgovarati.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's for a lot of people. It's harder to speak than to understand everything.
well, it's just I don't have. I mean, I have a couple of people here, a couple of friends, but I don't see them every day, like on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So we can talk. And but I'm okay to connect with my country and just start going there once a year. You know, so
Awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. We have a beautiful country.
The first musician who came to my mind when I was thinking, because I was thinking about how cool would it be if you went to Croatia and performed with some people and stuff like that. I was thinking Dino Jelusic. If you've heard of him, Jelusic, he's just got into Whitesnake. He's not.
Oh, Dino, yeah, yeah, I saw him. I saw him not long ago.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah. I met him a couple of times. Yeah, nice kid. Yeah,
Yeah. And he's got a
yeah.
great voice too. I think maybe your guys' voices together would be something special. That would be cool. But yeah, that
Yeah.
would be definitely awesome to
But
get you to play something over here, I should say.
well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'm open to whatever. We're actually right now we just did a 30th anniversary album, and we're literally speaking to a couple of labels, Croatia Records and another label, there to release the record in Croatia. So
Oh
to
wow,
start the whole process. Let's bring Neely home. You know what I mean? Kind
that'd
of
be
thing. I mean,
awesome.
I feel I could definitely use coming home. So I hope everybody accepts me. So we'll see.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, that would be awesome to have you there. I want to go back a little bit to, sort of your first album, Steelheart. As I understand, you guys were Red Alert before that, and then changed your name to Steelheart, and then come out with this first album. And what was the result? Was it huge for you guys? I mean, like you said, overnight success.
Yeah, it was weird, right? So when we first signed to Universal, it was a heck of a story, I got to tell you. But when we first signed to Universal, we went to make the record, and then we were doing nothing for 9 months. Okay, the label wasn't doing anything, but the song "She's Gone" exploded in Japan, and it just I don't know what happened. It blew up in almost all of Asia, but Japan especially. And so I went over there for some interviews and stuff. My manager said, "Oh, we got to go to Japan. We're going to do some interviews just to get the ball rolling over there," not knowing how big it actually was, you know. And I got off the plane. There was probably 500, 600 people waiting for me there, fans. I mean, papers, things flying. I was like, whoa! I wasn't ready for that. And so I did a lot of interviews, and then not long after we came there and did a tour. We did 3 shows in Japan. Then we went over to I believe Korea and with Taiwan, or I forgot. But anyway, so we did a bit of a tour, and the band did really well. Especially the song "She's Gone" is really really famous in Asia. Um, Korea, it's still the number one karaoke song since 1989. Still today, number one.
Jeez.
So it's yeah, so it's
Why
so
is
it
that?
exploded.
Why did it get so
Um,
popular?
I don't know. Well, first of all, it's a very emotional song, and second of all, it's um it's a song that a lot of singers want to sing or be able to sing, and it's definitely challenging. And what happens is that um, like in Korea, if you could sing it, you probably get lucky with with your girlfriend. It's funny because they're going to karaoke and they're singing their ass off, you know. And yeah, so it just connected with the soul, you know, what I'm saying, the lyrics, the whole thing, it just connected. So yeah, Asia has always been a huge part of my career, and Europe, I mean the world actually, but um, I would say parts of Asia more than anything. So time now to connect the rest of the dots.
Mhm. Well, after that first album, you came out with the second album, and I don't want to go over this too much because
Yeah.
I'm sure it's painful to think about. But on tour, you had a horrible accident. I don't know in how much detail or just briefly if you can mention what
Oh,
happened.
shut up. I'm okay to talk about it. I'm okay. I mean, this is part of my journey, part of my life, you know. It's like I feel sometimes I look at it that I had to go through it in order to understand or feel and, you know, build the man that I want to be, man that I am today. You know, that's all part of the building blocks, you know. So during that accident, I could have taken different roads. I could have taken the complete depression road and the sour road and really fall deeper, but I didn't. What I did do is I always felt I belonged there. I belong, you know, connecting with the people. I belong singing. I belong there, you know. And I kept going, and I did come out of it, but it was extremely difficult, and it was a long, long time because I was in a. What happened is that when the lighting truss fell, it was falling this when I was walking, trying to walk away. You can see it on YouTube, and it hit me right in the back of the head and cracked my head open. And I hit the stage face first, broke my nose, my cheekbone, my jaw, twisted my back, my knee. I mean, it was a serious. I should have been dead. I should have been dead in front of 18,000 people. You know, there's this massive accident, and Anyway, I survived it. But what happened is that when I came home, my brain swelled 2 days later, and the pain was so excruciating that I couldn't even blink. I couldn't blink. The pain was so insane. So I didn't leave the house for about 7 months, I would say. A good, I mean, I try to go outside, but I have to tiptoe, really walk because any movement of the brain, it is just beyond painful. Anyway, so after that, when I got better from the injury of physical, what happened is then my mental happened is that I started losing memory and I lost a lot of memory. And then I fell into this fog, like this fog of life, just kind of here, but not here, mutno, you know, sve mutno. You understand that? And and that took me a long time to get clarity. And I would say probably not till like 5 years ago, even till then, that I wasn't fully clear. Now I feel I'm clearer than I ever was. So shit, I'm back. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time.
That's
But
great.
yeah, that's the story, and it's a very very heavy journey. But it's my journey, it's my life, and this is who I am. It built the man that I am now, and I'm okay with it. I like me. It's okay. It's
Hmm.
good.
I'll just say I think it's very important to have that sort of perspective on things that, this happened to me for a reason or whatever, for whatever reason it happened. And, through that, I am who I am and I've got through it. And, here I am. It's a
That's it.
part of my story. I think you have to have that outlook
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Well, this is it. This is life, man. This is it. Time's ticking. Right now, you and I talking. This is life happening, and you could take it any which way you want. You could take it and feel sorry for yourself. You could take it with anger. You could take it with depression. You could take it with any way you want. You choose. To me, all those other ones seem to be a lot more work, than to just be, okay, well, here it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I hope nothing else happens to me, but I will say, it is what it is. It's life. Reach down between your legs, grab some energy there and keep going. Let's go. You know,
That's right. Yeah, it's life. It's life. Well, I'll
that's
move
it.
on to a little bit of a lighter topic here.
Mm.
I want to ask about the movie Rockstar, which is a movie with Mark Wahlberg. He's portraying a rock star. Actually, I saw it a few years ago, and I just read today as I was doing some research. I guess it's based on a guy who filled in for Rob Halford, a Judas Priest, which I didn't even know that happened. But you provided some of the vocals for that, including "We All Die Young." What was that
Yeah.
experience like? How did that happen? Did they approach you on that?
Yeah. What happened is that I was in Connecticut at the time, and I was literally my flight was the next morning. I think like 8 a.m. or something, 9 a.m. to Los Angeles. I'm going back to Los Angeles, and I was visiting Connecticut. I was at my brother's house, and Tom calls me, the producer of my second album, Tom Werman. And he goes, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you up to?" I said, "I'm going to LA tomorrow and I'm putting a new band together. I got to get my shit together. I feel like I'm not happening. I got to, going to work." He goes, "Well, before you do that, maybe I'm doing this movie and it's, it's a pretty big movie. It's very substantial, a lot of people involved. And, and we need a singer to sing for the actor, for the main actor. And Millie, I think you'd be good for this. Would you be interested in auditioning?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I'll come in." So I came in. I flew in, I believe, like around 11:30 a.m. I went to the studio at 1 o'clock. I went right from the airport to the studio. Got to the studio. I sang from 1 to 2 at 3 o'clock and say, "Hey, you got the gig. You want to do this? You want to do the show? I mean the movie." So I was like, "Absolutely, great." So we started working on the movie. And then the music director came in during rehearsal one day. So it's me, Zach Wild, Jason Bonham, and Jeff Pilson. That's the band. Okay. That's the Steel Dragon band. And we're sitting there rehearsing, and she comes in and says, "Hey, does anybody have any songs that want to contribute to the movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I guess so. Here, listen to this album. And she heard "We All Die Young," and when she heard "We All Die Young," we were like, "We gotta have this song." So it's like, gotta have it. So that's how that song ended up in the movie.
Hmm.
And I did the vocals. The only thing is that, which really sucked is that I couldn't talk about it. That was a big thing. I couldn't say anything that I was the voice, that I did it. I couldn't tell the press or anything like that. So that's why it took a long time for the world to find out it was me.
Mm-hmm.
So movie business.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I have to admit that version is my favorite version of the song. I think with Zach Wild, providing some pinch
yeah,
harmonics and everything, I think it really
yeah,
went well. And yeah, that's like
yeah.
that song is the main scene kind of where Mark Wahlberg, writes
Right.
this song for the band and he comes and sings that in the studio and everyone's like blown away. Did you go like to the
Right.
theaters when that first came out and watch that in theaters or?
I did. I did go to the theaters. It was, what was uh, that was okay. It was just very, again, you're going there, you got a room, you got a theater full of rock stars, movie stars, and producers and everything. And I'm sitting there going, I can't say anything. I mean, I would have press come, "So, hey, what was your involvement in the movie?" I'm like, uh, nothing. you know. Also, when we did the live show, the live scenes, and they shot it here at the Forum, at the Coliseum. That was I have to say that was interesting because I'm sitting in the front row or whatever. Everyone's in the front, standing, whatever, and when Mark singing, well, I'm singing, but he's mimicking me, and the whole crowd is losing their shit, and I'm like going, ah, ah, you know. But again, it is what it is. We got to go with the punches. That was the deal. So moving on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so when were you able to tell people that it was you?
Um, uh, never,
Hmm.
never. But the world knows it's all over the place. Wikipedia, it's all over the internet. So now I can, you know, basically talk about it, but I can't. But yeah, because it's already publicly known. It's not
Yeah.
me talking about it.
Huh.
So here we are.
Here we are. Well, we got a couple minutes left here. Um,
Sure.
you mentioned you want to come to Croatia, every year, once a year. You mentioned I forget how many years ago on YouTube you were filming a promo, performing one song right in front of St. Mark's Cathedral up in Zagreb. How long ago
Yeah.
was that? How often have you been back to Croatia? I guess.
I think right before the pandemic, after
Mm.
we did a Sweden Rock concert. Then we went right from there. We went to Croatia. We went to the square, and I did something there, and we never released that video yet, so we still have that. We'll probably release it during this whole. We're releasing videos, a lot of videos for this record, and I shot the rest of it in Pula in the Coliseum.
Oh,
So it's intense. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I mean, let's face it. I mean, our country's gorgeous, right? You know, the ocean, the seaside, all that's. I mean, how can you
amazing.
beat that? You know, I don't know. I'm ready to what's the word? Reconnect more with my country. I've been gone for a long time. Not my fault. I was taken away from the country,
Mhm.
and I think it'd be really good for me to reconnect. I want to. So, and I hope again. I hope I'm accepted or welcomed back. You know, for to my country. That's all.
Yeah. Do you
You
still
know,
have people over there, extended family or?
I have a few cousins left. It's not very big. It's not very big, but I do have a few, and they're wonderful. I speak to them occasionally. We do Zoom, and so and that I keep them in track with all the music. I try to give them new music. I try to send them stuff, and they don't want any because the post office is just a nightmare over there, from what they tell me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, the Porsche.
Yeah. So anyway, but
Cool.
yeah, that's it. That's my big speech of the day.
Well, you mentioned the new album. What's the release date? Is there a date planned for that?
So we haven't released it digitally, and we're working on releasing it uh, to Croatia now. Let's see how that comes together. We released the CDs, which is only available through my website, and now we're expanding the whole project worldwide. So there's not really a release date, official still,
Mhm.
which we are working towards. We'll let you know soon.
Nice.
We need to do the right promotion with Croatia so they know it's coming.
Well, yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I'll share this everywhere I can. I'd love to see you come over here in Croatia and do some shows. It'd be incredible. Um,
Yeah.
just as we're down to our last couple minutes here, I got two quick questions for you. Favorite thing to eat in Croatia or favorite Croatian
Ah,
food?
Cevapcici, Rajinci. I mean, come on. That's, I mean, I have some recipes that are like amazing. I would say that's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's
it's
what it
some nice
was.
stuff.
I was there was this restaurant down the street. When I was living with my grandmother. I forgot what's it called. I forgot the name of the little town. Anyway, but right around the corner was always the restaurant. Every Friday and Saturday night, they're cooking. You could smell it down. You could smell it for miles. You know what I mean? And it was like too expensive. We didn't have a lot of money, but it was like that reminds me of life, which is good. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Making me hungry right now. Last,
Yeah.
I guess this isn't sort of a quick question, but I was wondering if because your Steelheart sort of peak came at the end of that sort of era of music, right as grunge was kicking in. Do you have any hard feelings against grunge music?
Nah, again, it's life. It switched, it turned, it spins, it's sideways, up, down. It's what it is. I mean, was it upsetting? I guess it was. Yeah, it was a little disappointing. That what I didn't like is how easily and quickly the people shifted.
Hmm.
All of a sudden they're having this amazing time with the 80s, just like literally living having so much fun that you can't even think straight the amount of fun you're having, right? And then the grunge came in and everyone just went, it was like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on a second. Whatever happened to all the fun we were just having? So, but I think also, people, they just they were ready for something new. That's all. And the grunge came in, some great music, some great artists. It was a little depressing, I would say, but still, it is what it is, you
Yeah.
know. And you move on and you keep going. So my
Hmm.
music is very interesting now too. You know what I mean? It's like up, down, it's all over the place. I feel like there's too many people making music.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's like the accountants are making music, the lawyers are making music, the plumbers. It's like, guys, let the artist be the artist. You guys do the plumbing and everything else. So unless that's what you, let me rephrase that. Unless that's how you're surviving to make it, and you're the true artist. I
Hmm.
have nothing but beautiful things, and I support every artist that really is going for it, and that's who they are. It's just what I say. It's just the guys that are, or the women that are creating things like, what the hell? I'll throw it up on Spotify. Maybe something happens. Who knows? Maybe I get lucky.
Without
Not
passion.
cool. Not cool. That's not cool because that's just in the way of a true artist who has information for you. Coming from the spirits and the gods, who's sharing
Hmm.
lyrics and emotion and all that stuff. It's important.
Yeah,
So
agreed. Well, Miljenko, I want to thank
yeah,
you so much again for, coming here on the All Things Croatia podcast. And I'm really looking forward to what the future brings for you, especially in Croatia. I'm excited to
yeah.
see, what becomes of that and to see that music video in Pula, in the Coliseum.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Miljenko.
Zdravo.
Easy.
Bog.
Vidimo
Bog.
se.